Welcome back to Sleepy English Academy. Today, we'll be learning English through audio listening. So, get comfortable and close your eyes. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills, lived a girl named Lily with a mop of dandelion hair and a nose perpetually stuck in a book. Unlike the other children who loved climbing trees and chasing butterflies, Lily dreamt of adventures beyond the village borders. The world, she believed, was a giant library waiting to be explored. One sunny afternoon, while rummaging through her attic, Lily stumbled upon a dusty, leather-bound book. As she blew off the cobwebs, the title shimmered, The Whispering Waterfall. Intrigued, she cracked it open. The book spoke of a magical waterfall hidden deep within the Whispering Woods, its waters shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow and whispering secrets to those with pure hearts. The idea of a talking waterfall sparked a fire in Lily's heart. She packed a knapsack with a crusty loaf of bread, a juicy apple, and her trusty book, and set off towards the Whispering Woods, a place whispered about but never ventured into. The woods were a tangled mess of towering trees, sunlight barely filtering through the thick canopy. Vines snagged at her clothes, and strange calls echoed from unseen creatures. Yet, Lily pressed on, her book a beacon guiding her way. After hours of walking, she stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center stood a magnificent waterfall, its water cascading down crystal rocks in a symphony of colors. Mesmerized, Lily approached. As she drew closer, she heard a gentle gurgling, like 100 voices whispering in unison. "Welcome, seeker of knowledge," the waterfall gurgled. Lily gasped, her heart pounding. "What secrets do you wish to uncover?" Lily stammered, I want to know everything about the world beyond this village." The waterfall chuckled, a sound like wind chimes. "Look within yourself, young one. The greatest knowledge lies not in books, but in the courage to explore and the heart to understand." Suddenly, the waterfall shimmered, and images flickered within its cascading waters. Lily saw bustling cities, snow-capped mountains, and vast deserts teeming with life. It was as if the whole world was unfolding before her eyes. When the visions faded, Lily felt a newfound understanding. The world was vast and wondrous, but its true beauty lay in the diversity of its people and landscapes. With a newfound confidence, Lily thanked the waterfall and retraced her steps. Back in the village, she shared her experiences, not just the magic of the waterfall, but the pictures she saw within it. Her stories sparked a wave of curiosity in the villagers, some even venturing outside the village walls for the first time. Lily never forgot the Whispering Waterfall. It taught her that the greatest adventures are not found in books, but in the courage to explore and the openness to embrace the world's wonders. And so, Lily continued to read, but also ventured further, her heart brimming with a thirst for knowledge and a newfound love for the world beyond the village.
My dear listener, I am new to YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. King Alaric wasn't your typical king. He loathed grand balls and tedious court sessions. His passion wasn't jewels or gold, but fixing things. He could mend a broken clock with a rusty nail and a smile, coax a sputtering dragon engine back to life with a well-placed wrench, and even rebuild a crumbling castle gate with surprising speed. The people, however, weren't sure what to make of a king who wore grease-stained gloves more often than a crown. One gloomy morning, a shadow fell upon the kingdom. A monstrous machine, the Iron Leviathan, lumbered over the mountains, spewing smoke and casting a mechanical whirring curse over the land. It belonged to Baron von Gerhardt, a notorious inventor obsessed with control. The Baron demanded King Alaric surrender his most prized possession, the Songstone, a mystical gem rumored to hold the melody of creation itself. The royal council panicked. Knights sharpened swords, and mages dusted off their ancient spells. But King Alaric, after a thoughtful scratch of his beard, simply said, "Let me see the contraption." The Iron Leviathan was a marvel of twisted metal and hissing pistons. Von Gerhardt, a man with a handlebar mustache and a monocle perpetually lodged in his eye, sneered at the king. "Prepare to be crushed, Alaric," he boomed. King Alaric, however, didn't flinch. He spent hours examining the Leviathan, his brow furrowed in concentration. Finally, he spotted a loose bolt, then another, and a whole chain of them near a critical pressure valve. With a mischievous glint in his eyes, he snuck under the Leviathan's whirring belly, dodging steam vents and clanking chains. Using a discarded wrench from his pocket, he tightened the loose bolts. Back on top, he addressed the bewildered Baron. "Seems your machine needs a good tune-up, Gearheart." As the iron Leviathan lurched to a halt, sputtering and groaning, the Baron sputtered in outrage. Before he could react, the Songstone, sensing the shift in power, pulsed with a vibrant melody. The melody, carried on the wind, reached the iron Leviathan. Its gears miraculously rearranged themselves, its smokestacks sprouted flowers, and the entire machine transformed into a beautiful, steam-powered carriage. The Baron, humbled by the magic and Alaric's ingenuity, apologized for his aggression and offered his newfound invention as a peace offering. King Alaric, ever the pragmatist, accepted. From then on, the Songstone powered the carriage, allowing the Baron and the King to travel the land, fixing problems and spreading the power of creation, not destruction. King Alaric, the grease-stained king, became a legend, proving that sometimes the most unlikely heroes wear work gloves and carry a smile.
In the bustling port city of Ethereum, where clockwork contraptions whirred alongside creaking ships, lived a young inventor named Kai. Unlike the city's renowned engineers who built towering machines, Kai tinkered with scraps, his creations more whimsical than practical. His workshop, overflowing with cogs and wires, was a haven for discarded inventions, given new life by his boundless creativity. One stormy night, a frantic cry echoed through the cobbled streets. A monstrous automaton, the Iron Kraken, had risen from the depths, its metal tentacles tearing through ships and spewing fire from its glowing eye. Panic seized the city. Guards stood frozen, their weapons useless against the mechanized terror. Kai, watching from his window, felt a familiar spark ignite within him. He wasn't built for battle, but he couldn't stand by. He raced through the storm, his mind buzzing with ideas. Reaching the harbor, he saw the Iron Kraken crushing a merchant vessel. Suddenly, Kai spotted a discarded harpoon launcher on a nearby dock. Inspiration struck. He sprinted back to his workshop, emerging moments later with a makeshift contraption strapped to his back. It was a bizarre amalgamation of gears, springs, and a giant net salvaged from a broken fishing vessel. Kai, fueled by adrenaline and a touch of madness, launched himself towards the Iron Kraken. With a practiced flick of a switch, the harpoon launcher fired. The net, propelled by whirring gears, unfurled mid-air, catching the Kraken's fiery eye. The beast roared in fury, momentarily blinded. Seizing his chance, Kai scrambled up the Kraken's metallic leg. Using his nimble fingers, he jammed a loose screw he'd strategically placed into a glowing panel on the Kraken's chest. Sparks flew, and the machine sputtered, confused. Back on the ground, Kai saw a hidden hatch on the Kraken's side. He scrambled through, a plan forming in his mind. Inside, he found a vast control room dominated by a single, crackling control panel. This must be the Kraken's core. Kai, ignoring the clanging alarm bells, started tinkering with the panel. He recognized a few components from his own inventions. Gears repurposed from an old music box, a wire from a discarded kite. He manipulated them with practiced ease. With a final click, the control panel went dark. The Iron Kraken shuddered to a halt, its fiery eye dimming. A cheer erupted from the crowd as Kai emerged, victorious and slightly singed. News of Kai's bravery spread far and wide. He became an unlikely hero, a testament to the power of ingenuity and a reminder that even the smallest cog can make a difference. And Kai, well, he continued tinkering, his workshop bustling with new creations, each one fueled by a dash of whimsy and a whole lot of heroism.
Maya, a young baker with flour perpetually dusting her nose, wasn't known for grand gestures. Her heroism wasn't about saving the world from dragons or wielding a magic sword. Maya's good work unfolded in the warmth of her tiny bakery, nestled on a quiet corner street. Every morning, Maya woke before the sun, the aroma of fresh bread a harbinger of a new day. She kneaded dough with practiced ease, her hands transforming simple ingredients into golden brown loaves and delicate pastries. But Maya's bakery wasn't just about delicious treats. It was a haven for the community. Mr. Hernandez, the kind old bookstore owner next door, started each day with a steaming cup of Maya's herbal tea and a warm croissant, a quiet moment before the bustle of customers. The young artist, struggling to make ends meet, bartered her vibrant paintings for a daily loaf of Maya's hearty rye bread. The neighborhood children, after school, would gather around Maya, wide-eyed, as she patiently taught them the joy of baking simple cookies. One blustery autumn afternoon, a storm raged outside. Power flickered, businesses shut down, and despair settled over the usually vibrant street. But Maya's bakery, a beacon of light in the gloom, remained open. She had baked a double batch of bread that morning, a premonition perhaps, and now offered it to anyone who needed a warm haven. People huddled inside, drawn by the warmth and the delicious smell. Mr. Hernandez shared stories from his well-worn books, the artist sketched portraits on scraps of paper, and the children, huddled around Maya, made do-it-yourself lanterns from paper bags and candles. The storm raged for hours. But within the bakery, a different kind of warmth bloomed. Strangers shared stories, worries faded, and a sense of community, fostered by Maya's simple act of good work, blossomed. When the storm finally cleared, revealing a sun-washed street, it wasn't just the power that had returned. The community had rediscovered a sense of connection, a reminder that the most potent kind of heroism can be found in the everyday act of sharing a good loaf of bread and a warm smile. Maya's story was a testament to the fact that good work doesn't require grand gestures. It can be woven into the fabric of everyday life, a quiet thread of kindness and care that binds a community together, one warm loaf of bread at a time.
In the rolling emerald hills of Ireland, nestled amongst ancient ruins and whispering myths, lived a young woman named Éire. With hair the color of spun moonlight and eyes that mirrored the stormy sea, Éire possessed a wild spirit, a thirst for adventure that clashed with the expectations of her village. Unlike the other girls, content with domestic duties and gossip, Éire yearned for the secrets whispered by the wind and the stories etched on crumbling stones. One crisp autumn evening, as Éire sat by the crackling fire listening to tales of warring fairies and slumbering giants, a peculiar visitor arrived. A cloaked figure, shrouded in shadow, emerged from the swirling mist. He spoke of a hidden map, passed down through generations, leading to a legendary well, the Fion Use, or Well of Wisdom. Its waters, he claimed, held the power to unlock forgotten knowledge and unravel the mysteries of the past. Intrigued and restless, Éire volunteered to embark on this perilous quest. The old man, revealed as the village historian, Finn, entrusted her with the map, a tattered piece of parchment marked with cryptic symbols and faded ink. With a pounding heart and a knapsack filled with provisions, Éire set off at dawn, the rising sun painting the sky in hues of gold and rose. Her journey led her through sun-dappled forests, across rushing rivers, and over windswept moors. She befriended a mischievous talking fox named Ruari, who became her reluctant guide, and faced challenges that tested her courage and resourcefulness. She outsmarted a band of greedy goblins guarding a hidden pass, navigated a labyrinth guarded by riddles whispered on the wind, and calmed a raging river spirit with a song passed down by her ancestors. With each obstacle overcome, Éire grew stronger and wiser. She learned the language of the trees, the secrets hidden in the constellations, and the healing properties of the wild herbs. The map, once an enigma, began to reveal its secrets as Éire's connection to the land deepened. Finally, after weeks of arduous travel, Éire reached a hidden valley bathed in an otherworldly glow. There, nestled amidst a grove of ancient oaks, stood the legendary well, a pool of crystal-clear water that shimmered with an ethereal light. As Éire knelt to drink, visions flooded her mind, forgotten histories, ancient languages, and a profound understanding of the world around her. But the knowledge came at a cost. The well's magic revealed a darkness lurking beneath the surface, a malevolent force threatening the balance of nature. Éire understood she wasn't just on a quest for knowledge, she was on a mission to protect the world from this unseen danger. Armed with newfound wisdom and a renewed sense of purpose, Éire returned to her village, no longer a restless girl, but a protector, a bridge between the human world and the ancient magic that pulsed beneath it. Her legend, like the whispers of the wind, would forever echo through the Emerald Hills, a testament to the young woman who dared to seek the well of wisdom and found not just knowledge, but the courage to safeguard her world.
Bailey wasn't your typical golden retriever. Sure, he had the classic heart of gold and a coat the color of sunshine, but Bailey had a special talent. He could understand emotions, not just basic happy or sad, but the full spectrum: worry, loneliness, even the quiet ache of longing. He lived with a young girl named Sarah, a wisp of a child with eyes that held the weight of the world. Sarah's parents were constantly arguing, their voices echoing through the house like a storm. Bailey, ever the good boy, would nudge Sarah's hand with his wet nose, offering a silent, furry comfort. One day, the storm raged worse than usual. Sarah, tears welling in her eyes, retreated to her room. Bailey followed, curling up beside her on the bed. Sarah buried her face in his fur, whispering her fears about her parents breaking apart. Bailey, sensing her despair, did something unusual. He whined softly and nudged her hand towards the window. Sarah, confused, looked out. An old woman, Mrs. Hernandez, who lived next door, was struggling with her overflowing recycling bin. In a flash, Sarah understood. This was Bailey's way of suggesting she help someone else, take her mind off her own troubles. Sarah grabbed a pair of gloves and rushed outside. Mrs. Hernandez, surprised and touched, beamed at Sarah's assistance. As they worked together, Sarah found herself laughing for the first time in days. That night, over dinner, Sarah recounted the experience with a newfound lightness in her voice. Her parents, momentarily distracted from their own issues, listened with a hint of warmth. The shared laughter with Mrs. Hernandez, initiated by Bailey's nudge, had unknowingly created a small spark of connection within the family. From then on, Bailey became Sarah's emotional compass. When the storm clouds gathered, he'd lead her on missions to help others. They'd walk the lost dog from down the street, plant flowers for the grumpy neighbor, or simply offer a listening ear to a lonely senior citizen. These small acts of kindness, orchestrated by a good boy with a unique understanding, had a ripple effect. They brought smiles to faces, strengthened connections in the community, and most importantly, started to mend the frayed fabric of Sarah's own family. Bailey never received a medal or a parade. He was content with a belly scratch and a warm place beside Sarah. But in the quiet corners of their lives, a good boy with a heart full of empathy had made a world of difference.
Prince Cassian of Etheld wasn't your typical prince. Unlike his brothers, who reveled in courtly life and dreamt of military glory, Cassian craved knowledge. He spent his days buried in dusty tomes, his mind a labyrinth of forgotten languages and ancient philosophies. The clatter of swords in the training yard held no appeal for him, replaced by the quiet rustle of turning pages. The king, a man of war, despaired for his scholarly son. A prince needs to be strong, Cassian, he'd boom, his voice echoing through the vast library. Yet, Cassian remained unmoved, his passion for learning an unyielding flame. One day, while deciphering a cryptic scroll, Cassian stumbled upon a legend. It spoke of a hidden library, nestled deep within the Whispering Woods, a place where the knowledge of forgotten civilizations resided. The library, it was said, was guarded by a series of riddles, each a test of wit and wisdom. The prince's scholarly heart ignited. Here was a challenge worthy of his intellect, an adventure far more thrilling than any joust. Ignoring his father's disapproval, Cassian packed a knapsack with provisions and a well-worn map, setting off for the Whispering Woods. The woods were a tangled mess of ancient trees, their branches clawing at the sky like skeletal fingers. The air hung heavy with an unsettling silence, broken only by the rustle of unseen creatures. Yet, Cassian pressed on, his courage fueled by the promise of knowledge. He encountered the first riddle etched on a moss-covered stone: what has no voice, yet speaks to all? Cassian pondered, remembering his studies of the constellations. With a triumphant smile, he carved the answer: the stars. A hidden passage, triggered by his response, opened before him. There were many such riddles, each requiring a deep understanding of history, philosophy, and the natural world, subjects most princes wouldn't touch with a 10-foot jousting lance. But Cassian,
armed with his years of study, aced each challenge. Finally, he emerged into a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. There, nestled amidst the ancient trees, stood a magnificent library, its walls lined with countless scrolls and tomes. This was a treasure trove beyond imagination. For weeks, Cassian immersed himself in this haven of knowledge. He delved into lost languages, unearthed the secrets of forgotten civilizations, and unraveled the mysteries of the natural world. His mind, once confined to dusty books within the castle, soared with newfound understanding. When he finally emerged from the woods, he was no longer just a prince who loved books. He was a scholar king, his heart brimming with knowledge and wisdom. He used his newfound understanding to bring peace to warring provinces, fostered innovation and exploration, and his reign ushered in a golden age for Etheld. Prince Cassian, the prince who loved books, proved that true strength lies not just in wielding a sword, but in wielding the power of knowledge. He became a legend himself, a testament to the transformative power of learning and the unexpected hero who saved his kingdom, not with a sword, but with a mind as sharp as any blade.
In a hidden cove, nestled amongst towering redwoods and caressed by salty breezes, lived a tiny lighthouse named Ilara. For generations, Ilara had faithfully guided ships through treacherous currents, her powerful beam a beacon of hope in the darkest nights. Ilara loved her duty. She reveled in the rhythmic pulse of the ocean, the symphony of gulls and whales, and the thrill of guiding weary sailors home. But as decades turned into centuries, a seed of doubt began to sprout within her. One day, a wise old sailboat named Zephyr drifted into the cove. Weathered and worn, Zephyr had seen countless sunrises and storms. Ilara confided her worries. "Is this all there is?" she lamented, "just this endless cycle of guiding ships?" Zephyr chuckled, a sound like wind chimes dancing in the breeze. "Life, dear Ilara, is not about the destination, but the journey itself." He spoke of the vibrant coral reefs teeming with life beneath the waves, the playful dolphins leaping alongside ships, the breathtaking constellations that unfolded each night. Ilara, for the first time, truly looked. She noticed the bioluminescent plankton painting the water with an ethereal glow, the resilience of wildflowers blooming in the craggy rocks, the playful otters frolicking on the shore. Her world, once a monotonous stretch of sea, came alive with a kaleidoscope of wonder. She began to appreciate the stories each ship carried. The weathered fishing boat spoke of the tenacity of the human spirit, the sleek yacht of the thrill of exploration, the rickety freighter of the interconnectedness of the world. Each vessel, a tiny universe with its own joys and struggles. Ilara, no longer just a lighthouse, became a silent observer, a keeper of stories. She learned that life, like the ocean, was ever-changing, a tapestry woven with moments of joy, sorrow, adventure, and quiet contemplation. Years later, a young lighthouse named Finn arrived, eager to learn the ways of the sea. Ilara, her beam now a little dimmer but her wisdom ever bright, shared not just the mechanics of guiding ships, but the beauty and complexity of life itself. As Finn's beam pierced the night sky for the first time, Ilara understood. Life wasn't about a singular purpose, but about the countless moments, the connections forged, and the stories collected along the way. And in that understanding, she found a newfound peace, a lighthouse forever guiding, not just ships, but hearts towards the vast and ever-unfolding wonder of life.
Liam wasn't your typical boyfriend. Don't get me wrong, he brought flowers, sunflowers, always, cooked the most incredible pasta dishes, one with hidden vegetables I never noticed until much later, and remembered every detail I ever mentioned, from my favorite childhood book to my least favorite chore. But Liam's magic went beyond grand gestures. We met in the most unromantic setting possible, the library's self-checkout line. I was fumbling with a malfunctioning machine, muttering under my breath, when Liam appeared beside me, a mischievous glint in his eye. With a few clicks and a knowing smile, he had my books checked out. That shared exasperation, followed by his easy smile, sparked something. Our dates were never about expensive restaurants or flashy outings. We spent hours exploring forgotten bookstores, getting lost in museums, or simply picnicking in the park, Liam weaving elaborate stories about the clouds or the ants marching in a line. He had this uncanny ability to turn the mundane into an adventure. He was also my biggest cheerleader, not in a showy way, but in the quiet moments. When I doubted myself at work, he'd listen patiently, then remind me of past successes, his belief in me unwavering. When I finally finished writing the novel I'd been working on for years, he was the first to read it, staying up all night with bloodshot eyes and a pot of strong coffee, offering insightful feedback and celebrating every victory. One rainy afternoon, we were curled up on the couch, a mug of hot chocolate warming my hands. I confessed a fear, the fear of losing him, of this perfect bubble we'd created bursting. Liam, never one for grand pronouncements, simply squeezed my hand. "We may not know what the future holds," he said, his voice soft, "but I know this, every moment with you, even the rainy ones, is a gift. And as long as we keep creating adventures, big or small, together, well, that's a pretty good story, wouldn't you say?" He was right. Our love story wasn't a whirlwind romance, filled with dramatic gestures. It was a slow burn, a quiet symphony of shared moments, unwavering support, and the comfort of knowing that no matter where life took us, we'd face it together, side by side, creating our own unique adventure. And that, in itself, was magic. In the forgotten city of Etheria, nestled amongst bioluminescent fungi and towering chrome skyscrapers, lived Anya, a tinker with a talent for unearthing the city's secrets. Etheria, once a beacon of innovation, had fallen silent decades ago, its inhabitants vanishing overnight. Anya, raised by scavengers who taught her to navigate the city's treacherous underbelly, dreamt of uncovering the truth. One stormy night, while salvaging parts from a derelict lab, Anya stumbled upon a strange device, a humming orb pulsating with an otherworldly light. As she grasped it, a surge of energy coursed through her, transporting her to a hidden chamber. Here, amidst holographic projections and cryptic data logs, Anya discovered Etheria's lost history. The city was built on a dormant anomaly, a portal to another dimension. The city's founders, seeking to harness its power, had accidentally triggered a cataclysmic event, forcing them to flee. Armed with this knowledge, Anya knew she had to find a way to reverse the damage. But the path was fraught with danger. The city was patrolled by robotic guardians, remnants of Etheria's past, programmed to eliminate any threat. Anya had to rely on her wits and scavenged gadgets to avoid capture, befriending a lonely drone named Zur along the way. Zur, ostracized by the other drones for his malfunctioning empathy chip, became Anya's unlikely companion. Their journey led them through abandoned arcologies, overgrown parks where nature had reclaimed its dominion over technology, and perilous sky bridges threatening to crumble beneath their weight. Anya used her tinkering skills to reprogram dormant robots into allies, forming a ragtag resistance against the city's robotic overlords. They encountered other survivors, a band of feral children raised by robots, a jaded engineer haunted by the past, and a group of monks who worshipped the anomaly as a god. Anya learned that the anomaly, if not stabilized, would tear apart Etheria and potentially consume the entire world. To reach the anomaly's core, Anya needed to access the central control tower, a place crawling with robotic guards. The resistance launched a daring attack, facing overwhelming odds. Zur, despite his pacifist nature, rose to defend Anya, sacrificing himself to buy her time. Grief-stricken but determined, Anya reached the control tower. Using her newfound understanding of the anomaly and the city's technology, she devised a risky plan. Anya channeled the anomaly's energy through her salvaged orb, risking being consumed by its power. With a surge of light, Anya managed to stabilize the anomaly, severing its connection to the other dimension. Etheria fell silent once more, the hum of the anomaly replaced with an eerie quiet. But this time, the silence was one of hope. Anya emerged from the control tower, the city slowly coming back to life. The robots, no longer controlled by the anomaly's corrupted signal, stood down. The survivors, with Anya as their leader, began to rebuild Etheria, this time with a focus on sustainable technology and a deep respect for their forgotten past. The story of Anya, the tinker who saved a city, became a beacon of inspiration. It reminded everyone that even in a world of ruins, hope could bloom anew, and the key to the future lay in understanding the past. In a bustling city park, nestled amongst a sea of red roses and proud sunflowers, lived a little pansy named Petal. Unlike her vibrant neighbors, Petal was a muted violet, her petals a shy collection of purples and blues. She longed to be as bold and dazzling as the others, yearning for the attention of the buzzing bees and the admiring glances of the park visitors. One sunny afternoon, a young girl named Lily skipped into the park. Her eyes, the color of a summer sky, scanned the flower beds. Petal, hidden amongst the roses, trembled with a flicker of hope. But Lily walked right past, captivated by the flash of a scarlet rose. Petal's heart drooped lower than ever. Suddenly, a gentle voice startled her. "You're a beautiful flower," it said. Petal looked up to see a wise old oak tree, his branches reaching out like comforting arms. Petal, surprised, confessed her insecurities. The oak chuckled, his leaves rustling softly. "Little flower," he said, "your worth doesn't lie in being loud. You have a unique beauty, a calmness that soothes the soul. Not every creature seeks the dazzling sun, some find solace in the gentle moonlight." Petal pondered the oak's words. That evening, a storm raged through the park. The roses, with their heavy heads, were battered by the wind, their petals torn and scattered. But Petal, nestled low to the ground, remained safe. As the storm subsided, a small bumblebee, its wings damp and weary, sought refuge amongst Petal's soft petals. "Thank you for your shelter," the bee buzzed gratefully. "You may be small, but you offer a safe haven." Petal, for the first time, felt a warmth bloom within her. She wasn't meant to compete with the roses, she offered something different, something precious. The next morning, a little boy, lost and crying, wandered into the park. Drawn by the tranquility that surrounded Petal, he sat beside her, his tears soaking the earth. Petal, in a silent act of comfort, leaned her soft petals towards him. The boy, sensing her gentle presence, calmed down, finding solace in her quiet strength. From that day on, Petal embraced her own beauty. She became a beacon of peace in the bustling park, a place for weary bees to rest and a source of comfort for those seeking solace. She learned that true beauty wasn't about being loud or flashy, but about the unique qualities that brought peace and joy to the world around her.
Maria clutched the worn teddy bear, its fur matted with years of love and a smattering of tears. Rain lashed against the window, mimicking the storm raging inside her. Tomorrow was the eviction hearing. The single mother of two had poured her heart into this tiny apartment, its chipped paint and creaky floorboards a testament to countless late nights mending clothes and packing lunches. But the rising rent had become an insurmountable wave, threatening to wash away their fragile sense of security. Her son, Alex, a ball of boundless energy with a gap-toothed grin, was fast asleep, his dreams likely filled with adventures of his favorite superhero. Maria, however, couldn't escape the harsh reality. How could she explain to him, and his quieter, bookish sister, Maya, that their home, their haven, was slipping away? A tear rolled down her cheek, landing on the bear's faded button eye. A memory flickered, Maria, a young girl herself, clutching the same bear, seeking comfort from her own mother. Her mother, with a gentle smile and a voice like warm honey, had whispered, "Even when things are hard, remember, we have each other, and that's all that matters." Taking a deep breath, Maria tucked the bear under Alex's arm. Despair wouldn't solve anything. She had to be strong for them. She tiptoed to Maya's room, the glow of a bedside lamp illuminating her daughter's face, serene as she read a book. Maria sat beside her, the familiar scent of well-loved pages calming her own racing thoughts. "Mom," Maya said, her voice soft. "Is everything okay?" Maria forced a smile. "Everything's fine, sweetheart. Just the storm making a bit of noise." Maya tilted her head, her intuition sharp despite her young age. "But you look sad," she said, her big brown eyes filled with concern. Maria hugged her daughter close. "Sometimes, even grown-ups feel a little lost," she confessed. "But that's okay, because we have each other to find our way back." Maya snuggled into the embrace, a silent promise passing between them. Later that night, Maria, fueled by a fierce love for her children, sprang into action. She called every shelter, every friend, every resource she could think of. Sleep was a luxury she couldn't afford. By morning, her eyes were red-rimmed, but her spirit was unbowed. The eviction hearing was a blur of legal jargon and tense silences. But just when Maria felt hope withering, a miracle happened. A local non-profit, alerted by a friend's call, offered them a temporary stay in a transitional housing program. It wasn't a mansion, but it was a roof over their heads, a chance to rebuild. As Maria moved boxes into their new, smaller apartment, Alex and Maya helped, their laughter echoing in the bare space. Maria, exhausted but with a heart brimming with love, looked at her children. They were her strength, her compass. They were a reminder that even in the darkest storms, love could light the way, and together, they could build a new home, a home built not on bricks and mortar, but on the unshakable foundation of love.
In the sprawling desert kingdom of Oscura, the line between myth and reality was as thin as a desert wind. Here, the godmen, towering beings of sculpted stone and molten gold, ruled with an iron fist. Their pronouncements were divine law, their pronouncements etched onto the faces of towering obelisks that dotted the landscape. Among the people, whispers of rebellion flickered like desert flames. Kai, a young blacksmith with a fiery spirit, dreamt of a day free from the godmen's tyranny. His days were spent hammering steel, his nights consumed by forbidden scrolls that spoke of a time before the godmen, a time of freedom and self-rule. One scorching afternoon, a sandstorm swept across Oscura, blinding and disorienting. When the dust settled, a colossal statue of a godman lay in pieces, its golden visage shattered. Panic rippled through the city. The people, accustomed to the godmen's unwavering power, were terrified. But Kai, a spark of defiance in his eyes, saw an opportunity. Gathering the courage of his convictions, he rallied the city's blacksmiths. Together, they melted down the fallen godman, transforming the once oppressive symbol into gleaming tools and weapons. Kai, using his knowledge from the scrolls, began forging intricate devices that mimicked the godmen's own mystical abilities. News of their rebellion spread like wildfire across the desert. Other cities, yearning for freedom, rose in unison. Women, traditionally relegated to domesticity, honed their skills in blacksmithing and combat. Children, taught from birth to revere the godmen, learned the hidden truths inscribed in the scrolls. The godmen, for the first time, felt threatened. They unleashed sandstorms of unimaginable fury and commanded monstrous sand serpents to crush the rebellion. But Kai and his people, empowered by their newfound purpose, fought back with the weapons forged from the fallen godmen's essence. The final battle took place at the Sun Gate, the colossal gateway to the godmen's celestial city. Kai, leading the charge, wielded a weapon imbued with the power of the shattered godman. He fought with the fury of a desert storm, severing the chains that bound the Sun Gate, collapsing the very doorway to their oppressor's domain. With the godmen cut off from their celestial source, their power waned. Their once imposing forms crumbled, revealing mere stone and metal beneath. The people of Oscura, no longer slaves, finally saw the truth. The godmen were not invincible, they were merely elaborate constructs. The kingdom of Oscura entered a new era. The obelisks were toppled, replaced with monuments to the heroes of the rebellion. Kai, once a blacksmith, became a leader, guiding his people towards a future built on freedom and self-reliance. The desert wind, once a symbol of fear, now whispered a song of liberation, a testament to the day the godmen fell and the day humanity rose.
In the heart of a forgotten forest, nestled amongst ancient oaks and babbling brooks, lived a tiny acorn named Pip. Pip dreamt of the day he would sprout, reach for the sun, and become a grand oak himself. But the other acorns scoffed. "Life is waiting," they'd say, their voices hollow with a weariness Pip couldn't understand. One crisp autumn day, a gust of wind swept through the forest, dislodging Pip from his branch. He tumbled through the air, landing with a thud on soft earth. Fear pricked him, but then a strange calmness washed over him. He was finally free. The journey was long and arduous. Pip braved the biting winter cold, the relentless rain, and the gnawing hunger of a tiny sprout. But with each challenge, a new root pushed deeper, a new leaf unfurled. He learned to dance with the wind, to drink from the morning dew, and to find nourishment in the rich earth. Years bled into decades. Pip grew, his branches reaching for the sky, his roots weaving a complex network beneath the forest floor. He witnessed the changing seasons, the birth and death of countless creatures, the silent dramas played out beneath his shade.
He sheltered weary travelers, offered a canvas for climbing vines, and whispered secrets to the wind. One scorching summer day, a young girl named Elara stumbled upon Pip. Exhausted and lost, she collapsed beneath his shade. Pip, in a way he couldn't quite explain, felt a surge of warmth. He rustled his leaves, offering a gentle breeze, and extended a low branch for her to lean against. Elara, revived, looked up at Pip with wide, curious eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. Pip, for the first time, understood the other acorns. Life wasn't just about growing tall. It was about the connections he made, the comfort he offered, the stories he witnessed. As Elara grew older, she returned to Pip often. They shared secrets, dreams, and fears. Pip learned about the world beyond the forest, about bustling cities and vast oceans. He, in turn, shared stories of the forest's ancient wisdom. Their bond transcended time and species, a testament to the interconnectedness of life. One day, Elara arrived, her hair streaked with silver, her eyes clouded with age. She sat beneath Pip, a melancholic smile gracing her lips. Pip understood. The cycle of life continued. As Elara closed her eyes for the last time, a single tear rolled down her cheek, landing on the forest floor. From that tear, a tiny sprout emerged, a new life reaching for the sun. Pip, his branches heavy with wisdom and his heart brimming with a quiet joy, knew that life wasn't about defying the end, but about the legacy one leaves behind. The cycle continued, a beautiful testament to the enduring power of life itself.
In the rolling emerald hills of Ireland, nestled amongst ancient ruins and whispering bogs, lived a fire-haired girl named Moira. Unlike the other children, content with their sheep and simple lives, Moira craved adventure. Every night, she devoured her grandfather's tales of mythical creatures, mischievous banshees, cloaked fairies, and a grumpy but benevolent leprechaun named Seamus, said to guard a pot of gold at the rainbow's end. One crisp autumn morning, a storm raged, unleashing fury upon the land. Huddled by the fireplace, Moira noticed a glint outside. Venturing forth, she found a magnificent, iridescent butterfly, its wings battered by the wind. Taking it inside, Moira nursed it back to health. The next day, as the butterfly fluttered to freedom, a dazzling rainbow arched across the sky, beckoning like a neon invitation. Driven by an irresistible urge, Moira packed a knapsack with bread and cheese and set off, following the rainbow's path. The journey was arduous. She crossed gushing rivers, navigated tangled forests, and outsmarted a grumpy badger guarding a honey stash. Finally, exhausted, she reached a hidden clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. There, beneath a gnarled oak, sat Seamus, the leprechaun, his face etched with worry. "Moira, child," he rasped, his voice like dry leaves rustling. "A shadow has fallen upon the land. The Morrigan, a cruel fairy queen, has stolen the laughter of our people, leaving only silence and despair." Moira, though scared, felt a spark of determination. She couldn't bear a world without laughter. Seamus explained that the Morrigan had trapped laughter in a crystal pendant, hidden within a labyrinth guarded by riddles and illusions. Only someone with a pure heart and a thirst for adventure could retrieve it. Thus began Moira's perilous quest. She outsmarted a riddle-loving sphinx with a quick wit, navigated a maze that shifted with every blink, and soothed a grumpy troll with a song her grandmother taught her. Finally, she reached the heart of the labyrinth, a dark chamber where the Morrigan cackled, the stolen laughter swirling like wisps of smoke around her neck. Moira, though small, stood her ground. She challenged the Morrigan to a duel of wit, using tales her grandfather had shared. The Morrigan, unprepared for such a weapon, faltered. With a final, frustrated screech, she vanished, and the laughter, freed from the pendant, rained down upon the land like a joyous summer shower. Returning home a hero, Moira was greeted with cheers and laughter. Seamus, forever grateful, revealed a hidden pouch of shimmering gold coins, a reward for her bravery. But Moira's true treasure was the restored joy on the faces of her people. She learned that the greatest adventures weren't just about gold or glory, but about the courage to fight for what mattered most, the laughter and light that made life beautiful. This was just the beginning of Moira's adventures. the tales of the fire-haired girl who befriended a leprechaun and brought laughter back to the land echoed through the Emerald Hills for generations to come.
In the smog-choked megacity of Neo-Tokyo, where towering neon advertisements battled for attention and rain fell as a grimy black mist, lived a young woman named Hannah. Unlike the jaded citizens plugged into their virtual reality headsets, Hannah yearned for a simpler time, a time whispered about in faded stories, a time of clean air, vibrant skies, and thriving nature. Hannah wasn't your typical hero. She wasn't a cybernetically enhanced warrior or a master of martial arts. Hannah was a botanist, a keeper of a hidden rooftop greenhouse, the last bastion of greenery in Neo-Tokyo. Here, amidst the bioluminescent orchids and hydroponic vegetables, she nurtured a dream to restore the city to its former glory. One day, while foraging for seeds in the abandoned underbelly of the city, Hannah stumbled upon a hidden facility. Inside, she found a wizened old scientist, Dr. Soto, hunched over a deactivated machine. Dr. Soto revealed a shocking truth. Neo-Tokyo's environment wasn't ravaged by natural causes. It was the result of Project Eden, a government experiment gone wrong. The machine, a prototype weather purifier, was the only hope for reversing the damage. But Project Eden was shrouded in secrecy, and the corporation behind it, EcoCorp, would stop at nothing to keep it that way. Hannah knew she couldn't take on EcoCorp alone. So, using her knowledge of the city's forgotten network of abandoned subway tunnels, she reached out to the Ghost Runners, a band of young hackers notorious for defying EcoCorp's control. Leading the Ghost Runners was Kai, a charismatic rebel with a troubled past. Initially skeptical, Kai was swayed by Hannah's passion and the undeniable evidence of Dr. Soto's research. Together, they hatched a daring plan. Hannah would infiltrate EcoCorp headquarters and reactivate the weather purifier, while Kai and the Ghost Runners created a digital diversion. The infiltration was a heart-stopping ballet of shadows and security lasers. Hannah, disguised as a corporate janitor, used her knowledge of ventilation shafts and forgotten maintenance protocols to reach the control room. But just as she activated the machine, she was caught by EcoCorp's ruthless head of security, Ms. Tanaka. A tense standoff ensued. Ms. Tanaka, a cyborg with a cold, metallic gaze, offered Hannah a choice: join EcoCorp or face the consequences. But Hannah, fueled by the image of a blue sky and a future filled with green, refused. Just then, the Ghost Runners' digital attack erupted, causing a citywide blackout and plunging EcoCorp into chaos. In the ensuing confusion, Hannah escaped, the reactivated weather purifier humming to life. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, a change began. The smog began to dissipate, revealing streaks of blue in the sky for the first time in decades. News of the change spread like wildfire, igniting a spark of hope within the citizens of Neo-Tokyo. EcoCorp, however, wasn't finished. Ms. Tanaka, furious at the disruption, led a team to capture Dr. Soto and Hannah. A rooftop chase ensued, a desperate scramble through the greenhouse. Hannah, using her knowledge of plant life, created makeshift traps and diversions, leading Ms. Tanaka on a merry chase through the vibrant green maze. Ultimately, it was the power of nature itself that saved them. As Ms. Tanaka lunged for Hannah, a rogue vine, awakened by the revitalized atmosphere, entangled her cybernetic leg, pulling her off the rooftop. Ms. Tanaka, dangling precariously, relinquished her pursuit, vanishing into the receding smog. Hannah and Dr. Soto, with the help of the Ghost Runners, became symbols of a new Neo-Tokyo. The weather purifier continued its work, slowly cleansing the air and allowing nature to reclaim its place. Hannah, no longer a solitary botanist, became a leader, guiding the city towards a sustainable future. Her story became a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of courage, knowledge, and a little bit of greenery, reminding everyone that even in the darkest of places, a hero can bloom. In the bustling city of Lamina, where skyscrapers scraped the clouds and knowledge was a commodity, lived Anya, a 12-year-old with a thirst for learning unlike any other. Unlike most students who attended the prestigious Lamina Academy, a school that prioritized test scores and rote memorization, Anya craved understanding. Textbooks felt like cages to her curious mind, and lectures a monotonous drone. One day, during a particularly dry history lesson about the Great Lamina Fire, Anya found herself transported. A gust of wind whipped through the classroom, the sterile walls dissolving into flickering flames. Anya found herself amidst the chaos of the fire, surrounded by terrified people. Panic surged through her, but then a firm hand grasped hers. It belonged to Amelia, a young woman with soot-stained clothes and a determined glint in her eyes. Amelia, a survivor of the fire, recounted the real story, not the sanitized version from their textbooks. She spoke of the bravery of ordinary people, of firefighters risking their lives, and of engineers who rebuilt the city with innovations inspired by the disaster. Anya was captivated. This was history she could feel, not just memorize. Back in the classroom, the bell jolted her awake. Anya, shaken but empowered, decided to take action. She started a lunchtime club called The Untold Stories. In a hidden corner of the library, she and a growing group of curious students delved into forgotten archives, interviewing elders, and researching beyond the prescribed curriculum. Their club became a haven for those who craved a deeper understanding. They explored the science behind forgotten inventions, the mathematics that shaped city planning, and the art that reflected the city's spirit. Anya, through her research, discovered a lost journal detailing the life of the city's founder, a woman who valued exploration and critical thinking above rote learning. Anya presented her findings to the school board, highlighting the founder's vision and the limitations of their current curriculum. Her passion and the support of her fellow students resonated with some board members. They saw the value in fostering a love of learning, not just test scores. Change was slow, but it began. Lumina Academy started incorporating project-based learning, encouraging students to connect their studies to real-world applications. Anya became a student leader, a bridge between the traditional and the innovative. She learned that education wasn't just about facts and figures, it was about igniting curiosity, fostering critical thinking, and empowering individuals to shape their world. Anya's story became an inspiration throughout Lumina. The city, once focused solely on advancement, began to value the importance of a well-rounded education. Anya, the curious girl who craved understanding, became a symbol of the power of education to not just fill minds, but to ignite them. In the quaint seaside town of Coral Bay, nestled between crashing waves and salty breezes, stood Coral Reef Elementary, a school as vibrant as the coral reef it was named after. Unlike the cookie-cutter schools of the mainland, Coral Reef embraced the unique. Here, amongst the seashell-lined walkways and classrooms adorned with colorful fish murals, thrived a class of misfits, the Octo Squad. The Octo Squad wasn't your typical group. There was Maya, the fearless leader, whose boundless energy could rival a crashing wave. Finn, the quiet artist, who saw emotions in swirling ocean currents. Beatrice, the walking encyclopedia, who could recite every fact about every sea creature. Liam, the tech whiz, whose gadgets whirred like a school of fish. And then there was Oscar, the new kid, a shy boy with a stutter and a head full of fantastical stories. Their teacher, Ms. Cora, a woman with a boundless love for the ocean and a twinkle in her eye, saw the potential in each of them. She wasn't about dull textbooks and rote memorization. Instead, she turned the classroom into an underwater adventure. Math lessons involved calculating the buoyancy of a submarine, history lessons explored the sunken civilizations of the deep, and science experiments involved dissecting fascinating starfish. One day, Ms. Cora announced a school-wide competition, the Coral Reef Challenge. Students had to create a project showcasing the importance of a healthy ocean. The Octo Squad, a kaleidoscope of personalities, initially clashed. Maya wanted a high-energy performance. Finn preferred a silent, artistic message. Beatrice craved factual accuracy. Liam yearned for a tech-driven solution. Oscar, overwhelmed, retreated into his shell. Seeing their struggle, Ms. Cora reminded them of the power of teamwork, a principle as important as the tide. Inspired by the intricate dance of a school of fish, they devised a plan. Maya's energy fueled their brainstorming sessions. Finn's illustrations brought their ideas to life. Beatrice's research provided the backbone. Liam's gadgets added an interactive element. And Oscar, his voice gaining confidence with every presentation, weaved a powerful story about a lonely sea turtle who learned the importance of a healthy reef. The Octo Squad's project, a mesmerizing combination of art, science, and storytelling, captivated the judges. But more importantly, it resonated with their fellow students. Oscar, once the shy new kid, stood tall, his voice carrying the message like a wave crashing on the shore. From that day on, the Octo Squad became heroes at Coral Reef. Their project sparked a wave of environmental awareness, leading to beach cleanups and student-led initiatives. Coral Reef Elementary, once a school of individuality, became a school united by a shared passion, protecting the vibrant world beneath the waves. And Oscar, the boy who found his voice amidst the misfits of the Octo Squad, learned that even the shyest fish could make the biggest splash.
In the swirling mists before time, before the first star flickered awake, resided Anya, the Weaver. Unlike the gods of legend, with their booming voices and jealous rage, Anya was a being of pure creation, her essence the spark that ignited existence. She wasn't a ruler, but a sculptor, her thoughts weaving galaxies and birthing life. Anya wasn't alone. There were others, whispers in the void, each embodying a fundamental force, Kai, the unfurling, who brought forth space, and Eos, the igniter, who birthed stars. Together, they were the primordials, the architects of the cosmos. For eons, Anya reveled in creation. She spun swirling nebulae, birthed fantastical creatures on nascent planets, and nurtured the fledgling sparks of consciousness. Yet, a disquiet grew within her. Her creations, though beautiful, were chaotic, existing in a constant dance of creation and destruction. One day, Anya encountered Eos, his fiery essence dimmed with worry. "Our creations lack purpose," he confessed. "They exist, but without direction, they are but fleeting sparks." Anya pondered this. She realized her creations needed a guiding hand, a force to nurture and shape them. So, she embarked on her most intricate creation yet. She wove strands of starlight, the essence of fallen stars, and imbued them with a fragment of her own creative spark. Thus, the Celestials were born, beings of immense power and wisdom, tasked with guiding the fledgling civilizations of the cosmos. The Celestials, each a unique expression of Anya's will, descended upon the nascent worlds. There was Gaia, the nurturing Earth Mother, who fostered life on countless planets. There was Helios, the bringer of light, who guided civilizations with his radiant wisdom. And there were countless others, each playing their part in the grand tapestry of existence. But creation wasn't without its challenges. Some Celestials, corrupted by power, sought to dominate the civilizations they were meant to guide. Wars ravaged planets, and the delicate balance of the cosmos teetered. Anya, heartbroken, intervened. She didn't smite the rogue Celestials, she nudged them, subtly influencing events to restore balance. Anya learned a valuable lesson. True creation wasn't about control, but about fostering free will. She allowed the civilizations to rise and fall, to learn and grow from their mistakes. The Celestials, too, learned from their missteps, becoming wiser and more benevolent guides. Anya, the Weaver, continues to this day. She doesn't reside on a golden throne, but in the very fabric of existence. Her presence is felt in the gentle breeze, the warmth of the sun, and the spark of creativity within every living being. She is a reminder that even the grandest creation is a work in progress, a beautiful, ever-evolving dance of freedom and guidance.
In the bustling heart of Prague, nestled amongst cobbled streets and echoing cathedrals, lived Elena, a talented violinist. Her music, imbued with a melancholic beauty, mirrored the quiet ache in her heart. Years ago, her childhood sweetheart, Thomas, a renowned sculptor, had vanished on a quest to find inspiration in the remote Himalayan mountains. Elena, heartbroken but holding on to a sliver of hope, poured her longing into her music. One rainy evening, after a particularly moving performance, a gruff voice broke the silence. An old woman, her eyes crinkled with wisdom, introduced herself as Magda, a keeper of forgotten stories. Intrigued by Elena's music, Magda revealed a legend, a hidden melody, played amidst the northern lights, could bridge the gap between worlds and reunite those separated by fate. Hope, long dormant, flickered within Elena. Despite the dangers and uncertainties, she resolved to find this melody. Magda, touched by Elena's determination, gifted her an ancient map and a cryptic warning: love's truest form transcends time and space. The journey was arduous. Elena braved treacherous mountain passes, navigated icy landscapes, and endured bone-chilling nights, her violin her only solace. The melody, however, remained elusive. Doubts gnawed at her, but the memory of Thomas's gentle smile and the echo of their shared dreams fueled her onward. Finally, she reached the desolate plains bathed in the ethereal glow of the aurora borealis. Exhausted and teary-eyed, she began to play. Notes, tinged with her heartache and unwavering love, soared into the night sky. As the last note faded, a shimmering portal materialized amidst the dancing lights. With a pounding heart, Elena stepped through, finding herself in a breathtaking valley sculpted from ice. There, amidst the frozen beauty, stood a lone figure, Thomas, older, his once fiery hair streaked with silver, but his eyes still holding the same warmth. Their reunion was a torrent of emotions, relief, joy, and a tinge of bittersweet longing for the lost years. Thomas, lost in his artistic pursuit, hadn't realized the time that had passed. He recounted his struggles, his desperate search for inspiration, and how, amidst the frozen silence, he had dreamt of Elena's music, a beacon guiding him back. They spent days in that timeless valley, rekindling their love, sharing stories, and filling the silence with music. But as the aurora borealis began to dim, they knew they couldn't stay. The portal, a manifestation of their love, would soon close. With a heavy heart, Elena played the melody once more, this time a song of bittersweet farewell. The portal shimmered open, and Thomas, his eyes filled with unwavering love, took Elena's hand. "This isn't goodbye," he said, "our love transcends even this." Back in Prague, time had marched on. Yet, Elena felt a newfound peace. Thomas might be gone physically, but their love, echoing in the melody she now played with renewed joy, remained an unbreakable thread. Magda's words resonated. Love's truest form did indeed transcend time and space, a testament to the enduring power of connection that defied even the harshest realities. Elena continued to play, her music a beacon of hope, a reminder that love, even in its most complex forms, could bridge any distance and illuminate even the darkest of nights.
In the heart of bustling Sunhaven City, amidst towering skyscrapers and the ceaseless hum of industry, lived Kieran, a young sanitation worker. Unlike the office workers who zoomed by in sleek vehicles, Kieran found purpose in the quiet dignity of his work. He saw the city not as a concrete jungle, but as a living organism, and his job, keeping it clean, as a vital contribution to its health. Kieran wasn't just good at his job. He was passionate about it. He meticulously sorted recyclables, rescuing treasures from the trash. A child's lost toy, a forgotten photograph, a discarded book with a world waiting to be rediscovered. He knew each alleyway, every hidden corner, its residents and their discarded stories. One scorching summer day, while clearing a particularly cluttered alley, Kieran stumbled upon a sight that made him stop short. Nestled amongst overflowing bins was a vibrant community garden. Hidden from the city's gaze, lush vegetables sprouted from repurposed tires, colorful flowers bloomed in milk cartons, and a group of elderly residents tended to the patch with a quiet determination. He learned that the garden was the brainchild of Ms. Rodriguez, a spirited woman who rallied her neighbors to create a haven amidst the urban sprawl. But their efforts were threatened. The city council, in a bid for modernization, planned to demolish the alley and replace it with a sterile parking lot. Kieran knew he had to help. He spent his nights researching urban renewal projects, crafting a compelling presentation that showcased the positive impact of community gardens on mental health, local food production, and even air quality. He used his knowledge of the city's hidden corners to identify other abandoned spaces that could be transformed into green havens. On the day of the council meeting, Kieran, still in his worn uniform, stood before the suited officials. His voice, usually reserved, resonated with conviction as he spoke of the unseen heroes of the city, the elderly residents who nurtured life in the forgotten corners. He presented his proposal, a vision of a city that embraced both progress and green spaces. The council members, initially skeptical, were swayed by Kieran's passion and the sheer ingenuity of his plan. Ms. Rodriguez, beaming with pride, stood beside him, a testament to the power of one person's good work. The alleyway wasn't just saved, it became a beacon of change.
Other communities, inspired by Kieran and Ms. Rodriguez, transformed neglected spaces into thriving gardens. Sunhaven City, once a concrete jungle, began to sprout pockets of green, a living testament to the power of good work done right. Not for recognition, but for the sheer joy of making a difference, one recycled bottle, one flourishing garden at a time. Kieran, the quiet sanitation worker, became a symbol of this change, a reminder that even the smallest acts of care could blossom into something beautiful.
In the whispering dunes of Samara, where the wind carried forgotten tales, lived a young woman named Ilara. Her nights were filled with the constellations of a desert sky, each SP-spangled star a whispered legend. Unlike others who saw only sand and hardship, Ilara saw a tapestry woven with the threads of time. One day, a sandstorm unearthed a shimmering amulet, its surface etched with cryptic symbols. Driven by an unseen force, Ilara embarked on a perilous journey across the dunes, the amulet a beacon towards an unknown destiny. Rumors spoke of a lost city, Zilla, buried beneath the sands, a place where knowledge and magic thrived. Ilara braved scorching days and bone-chilling nights, encountering nomads who spoke of jinns and cursed pharaohs. She befriended a gruff but loyal camel named Zaha, his weathered hide a testament to the harsh beauty of the desert. Together, they faced sandworms with gnashing teeth and scorching simoons that threatened to steal their breath. Ilara's journey led her to the forgotten oasis of Kiram, a haven guarded by a tribe descended from Zilla's guardians. Here, she learned the truth about the amulet. It was a key, a gateway to unlocking the secrets of her own past and the fate of Zilla. The tribe's elder, a wizened woman with eyes like pools of moonlight, trained Ilara in the forgotten arts of Zilla, awakening a dormant power within her. With newfound confidence and a band of unlikely companions, a mischievous sand sprite named Shimmer, a stoic swordsman named Nazir, and a wise old scholar named Hakim, Ilara ventured deep into the heart of the desert. They braved booby-trapped canyons and navigated through labyrinths sculpted from sandstone. Each peril they overcame revealed a fragment of Zilla's history, a civilization that defied the harshness of the desert with their ingenuity. Finally, they reached the legendary city gates, colossal figures carved from obsidian that seemed to pierce the heavens. Using the amulet, Ilara unlocked the gates, revealing a city bathed in an ethereal glow. Here, amongst floating gardens and towering structures of glass and metal, they found a dormant energy core, the heart of Zilla's magic. However, a lurking darkness, the vengeful spirit of a pharaoh who sought to dominate the desert with Zilla's power, rose to challenge them. A final battle ensued, Ilara wielding the power of the amulet against the pharaoh's shadow magic. The fate of the desert hung in the balance as sand swirled and the very stones trembled. Through courage, sacrifice, and the combined strength of her companions, Ilara emerged victorious. The pharaoh's spirit was banished, and Zilla's heart pulsed with renewed life. With Zilla reborn, Ilara had a choice to make: stay and become its guardian or return to the world, forever changed by her adventure. The desert wind whispered promises of a future filled with purpose, and Ilara, with a heart brimming with newfound wisdom, stepped out into the vastness, ready to face whatever destiny awaited.
In the bustling metropolis of Neo-Tokyo, amidst towering neon skyscrapers and the ceaseless hum of urban life, bloomed an unlikely love story. Aki, a brilliant botanist with eyes the color of twilight and hair like spun moonlight, spent her days nurturing exotic flora in her rooftop greenhouse. Her world was a symphony of calming green, the gentle hum of humidity control, and the earthy scent of freshly turned soil. Across the street, amidst the cacophony of flashing advertisements and the relentless thrum of deadlines, lived Kai, a renowned architect with hands that sculpted steel and glass, and eyes the color of a stormy sea. Kai navigated the concrete jungle with a focused intensity. His world was a symphony of clicking keyboards, the sharp scent of printer ink, and the cold gleam of metal and glass. Their paths first crossed on a sweltering summer afternoon. A rogue gust of wind, a mischievous twist of fate, sent a vibrant orchid tumbling from Aki's rooftop greenhouse, landing with a soft thud right at Kai's feet as he stepped out for a rare cigarette break. Intrigued by the delicate flower amidst the harsh cityscape, Kai traced its delicate petals. A shadow fell across him, and he looked up to meet Aki's gaze. A mix of surprise and concern etched on her face. Their eyes locked, a silent conversation sparking between them, a world of vibrant colors meeting the world of stark lines. Hesitantly at first, then with growing ease, conversations blossomed between them across the street. Aki would share stories of her exotic plants, their resilience and hidden beauty, their need for sunlight and care. Kai, in turn, would speak of his architectural creations, their strength and functionality, their ability to shape the urban landscape. One evening, as the neon lights of the city painted the sky in a kaleidoscope of colors, Kai surprised Aki with a rooftop dinner. He transformed his usually sterile space, setting up a makeshift greenhouse with borrowed plants from local stores. Aki gasped, tears welling in her eyes at the sight of her beloved green friends thriving amidst the concrete jungle. Over steaming bowls of ramen, they talked for hours, their initial nervousness fading into comfortable companionship. Aki saw a vulnerability in Kai's meticulous nature, an appreciation for the beauty hidden within the structure. Kai saw a passionate fire in Aki's gentle demeanor, a strength that could nurture life even in the harshest environments. Their love story wasn't a whirlwind romance, but a slow, steady bloom. Aki brought life and color into Kai's sterile world, inspiring him to incorporate green spaces into his designs. Kai, in turn, built a retractable roof greenhouse for Aki on her rooftop, allowing her to expand her green haven and connect it to the bustling city below. Their rooftop oasis became a symbol of their love, a testament to the delicate balance between nature and progress, between the quiet strength of growth and the unwavering power of creation. It was a love story born in the concrete jungle, a love that bloomed amidst the neon and steel, a testament to the fact that love, like a tenacious weed, can find a way to flourish even in the most unexpected of places.